Welcome back everybody, it's episode 24 of the Let's Play. So good to be back here doing some building in my single player world. I hope you enjoyed the previous episode, which was my 1 year on YouTube anniversary. I kind of showcased a lot of the builds I'd made on Spawn Island here. There were some things of course that are way off in that direction, there's some more stuff over there, there's lots of stuff that I've built which is not in this general region. And a world tour at some point I think is a good thing to do. I've been waiting for kind of a special occasion, so to speak. I didn't feel like 1,000 days or 1 year was even enough to justify that kind of video. But I could be wrong. There has been a few people who've asked for a world tour, which is great. Great to hear that people are interested. So I think at some point it will happen. But for now, that's not the job. There's a few more things I'd like to do. Oh, look at the time. There's a few more things I'd like to do around Spawn Island before I'd be happy to do a world tour, which is definitely on the cards, don't get me wrong. I started off doing some landscaping last episode, or at least in preparation for the 1 year anniversary. I started doing some little ponds and such. But the focus for this episode, and really something that's been on my mind for a while, is filling in some things in the landscape that I'm not a fan of. So I love the spawn, everyone loves their own seed, everyone loves where they start off, and I think this island's great, but there are still some things I would change. There used to be, if you remember, some floating bits up there that I've removed. I couldn't stand the little floating blocks. I guess what I'm talking about is these gaps. So there's one there where you have a bit of an overhang in the cliff, and it's kind of like, I just don't like it. So I think we're going to do some landscaping and fill in some of these gaps. We're going to get rid of this for sure, so the nether portal kind of backs onto an entire mountain without this ravine coming through. Ravines are fine, but it's just, I would just like to have a bit more coherency. Like down here, it's a tiny bit of a ravine exposed, which I would just love to cover up. And I guess you could do similar things here, there. It's kind of an odd thing. Like, I know that this is all part of the natural landscape, and sometimes when you do these changes, you can make it look worse. I think it's a real skill to be able to landscape properly and make it look good. Another thing I would like to do is deal with this in some way. That is quite a bit annoying. I don't like the way that this is just a blob hanging off the edge. I might completely get rid of this. I would like to have some kind of waterfall coming down somewhere near the top here, going all the way down to somewhere near the base. Maybe I could build a little pool or do something with that existing part. They're the crystal caves that we have. I would like to just have this face a bit more attractive. I think I should probably blend these into that rock face a bit better too. There's lots to do. There's another thing here. So this is really the edge of Spawn Island. There's a tiny beach here. I would like to extend this sandbank all the way over here where it's quite shallow. It wouldn't take a lot of work to do, but make it look good just to connect this island to this island. Because I go over there on occasion. That's the very basic raid farm, and this is something that I've been bad at. I said from the start that I wanted to kind of make all of my farms look like natural, so not just have a hovering block where a villager is trapped inside. Raid farms are kind of simple, obviously, because I just go underground down through that trapdoor and everything else falls in the water and comes down to me. But I should still make something look good on the surface, as long as it doesn't break the farm and as long as it allows all the raiders to fall into the water. But that's kind of the job. So it's landscaping, and I might do a bit more with these paths. These paths are a bit basic. It's the path block with a few tiny blocks interspersed. I do want to have paths connecting everything, at least in Spawn Island. Maybe a few more water features and such would be good. This looking glass is amazing, isn't it? The spyglass. I rarely use them, but for pointing out things I would like to do, it's absolutely perfect. This is the Grand Library from previous. That's where I keep all my books. I'll be doing a few more major builds soon. Books was one thing I definitely needed a dedicated building for. something else that we definitely need a dedicated building for is the mob heads. So I have one of these. I'm a bit of a purist, as the people on the Whimsycraft server know. I have very few mods that change gameplay. Most of the mods I've installed are simply quality of life. But one I do enjoy is mob heads. I think it's really cool to get mob heads from passive and hostile mobs. And I have so many mob heads. Let's take a quick look in the storage room. The storage room needs an expansion as well. It's well past its sell-by date now. But of course, the jobs never finish in Minecraft, do they? They just keep on going. So here's some of the mob heads. I would like to have somewhere to display these and some kind of custom rooms to show them all. And there's some obviously unique mob heads. Zombie Mason. That's Snow Golem. Different types of zombies. Zombie Weaponsmith, Zombie Villager, Zombie Cleric. So there's lots to do. But we're going to start with the landscaping. So I think we'll sleep now because it's just gone dark. And then we're going to go and get started on this. So here we are at my Wither Skeleton farm. I didn't actually show any of this on camera. This was more of a kind of chill project that I had when I had some downtime in the past few weeks or so. This didn't take too long to build. I came across this nether fortress, half in a soul sand valley and the other half above a massive lava lake. While exploring weeks ago, months ago, I can't remember quite when it was. And I decided to obviously spawn proof the majority of it. And I kept one of these crossroad areas available for this mob farm. So it's Wither Rose based. I did some work in the end using snow golems to get Wither Roses. Stuck an iron golem in there. And it works quite well. I haven't had to do as much spawn proofing as you might expect, because if I do this and reduce my render distance to 0, not 0, to 2, down from 32, which is quite big obviously, we really reduce the actual land that any mobs can spawn on. So quite soon you tend to get quite a few of these wither skeletons. Oh, there we go, they've already started falling down. Now the farm is great. I've been using it as a bit of an XP farm. Maybe I should go away actually, because oh, there we go. Yeah. I thought because it was on 32 when I flew in, it wasn't going to work properly. But yeah, they still spawn regardless. It's actually really effective. I've been getting quite a few heads from it recently. I'll stick these in there for now. And the reason I need heads, of course, is for beacons. So any kind of landscaping work. I really like to have jump boosts when I'm doing building. I also like to have haste for mining, for insta-mining things like stone. So getting beacons is really crucial. Oh, that's when I was mining some of the basalt delta away. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this, and it doesn't seem like it's working very well right now, but it has been quite effective for me. I think I've got enough skulls now. I've made quite a few beacons. I've made 4 or 5 beacons. There we go. And it doesn't take long for me to come and get 3 more skulls. So every so often I'll just pop back here. See if I can get a few more. It started off as just a general mob farm, so these are still relics of the first mob drops that came through. It wasn't easy to get the Wither Roses I needed, so I started off just having, as I say, any kind of nether mob, which is good because you always need things like blaze rods. But then as I got the snow golem set up, I was able to convert it a bit more effectively into pure wither skeletons. So to be honest, I mean, I have blaze spawners in a nearby fortress while they're really falling, aren't they? So wither skeletons is the best thing for me to get here, I think. So as long as they go out of render distance, it's absolutely fine. Come on, let's get some skulls. It's very effective. Die. Oh yes, and the XP can come out here as well. No skulls, quite surprising. I mean, it works. You can see it works quite well. So the beacons, So we're going to get some beacons, we're going to go back, and we're going to carry on our landscaping. Let's go. Okay, I think that went quite well. We covered up this small ravine here, just a tiny one, but it was still needed doing. Smoothed off some of these things over there. That big knob has disappeared, and I smoothed off that edge, which was quite annoying. Also did this diagonal here, because that was such a kind of conspicuous straight face that really stood out. It's been kind of frustrating me since day one. I guess the next thing is to do what I said here and make this mountain top come all the way down to these slopes here. And that will need a lot of dirt. So I think I'm going to have to go and collect some from somewhere. Ideally not around here. I don't like mining the dirt and leaving exposed stone. I could attack this next. That might be... Let's see how much sand we have. Because I think a sandbank, rather than making it dirt, I think that would look quite weird. Because it would just be like a finger of dirt pointing out. If it's an extension of the beach, I think that's much more realistic. So sand, sand, sand. Oh, perfect. Yes. From a few past mining trips. So we've got plenty of sand. Plenty of sand. Let's do the sandbank next. I think a shulker. That's not a shulker full. That's a shulker full of sand. I think that is more than enough material to get this sandbank done. Okay. Whoop. Got off a rocket by mistake. Okay, so the sandbank is not great. It's not perfect. It does a job. I come over here on occasion. I don't use the raid farm too often. When I need some totems, it's where I come. So I do travel here, and one of the goals of the world, if you remember, the objectives which are pinned up on the wall of the crystal caves, is to not exploit Elytra. Obviously I'm using Elytra, I'm using it a lot, but ideally I want to make everything connected without having to fly everywhere, and this of course plays into this exact issue. So we want to have paths and such everywhere within the game. It's a bit bland, and that's the issue. What I've done over here, if I have another bit of beach, is I've mixed in some sandstone, some birch, just to give it some texture, and I think it works out really well. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Sandstone slabs, birch slabs, and yeah, so the cut sandstone actually turns out quite well, and it gives you a direction to travel. So we're going to try that over here, and we'll see what it looks like in the end. I might widen this, it's also a bit thin, but I was trying to mimic the shape of this elevated. It was kind of like an elevated path just below the waterline. I was trying to mimic that perfectly. I'm not sure if I actually achieved it, but we'll make some changes. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, I'm a lot happier with this. I think the texture is just so important. One thing about Minecraft, I mean, you just can't have these continuous, unbroken surfaces. I mean, you can see the difference between the sand under the water here and the sand on the bank. There's the grass, which is broken up, of course, by the vegetation. Yeah, some people don't like texturing. You see it on some posts online, on Reddit and other websites, and it can be used in the wrong way, of course. People can make things too noisy, they can make things too messy. But in general, I think it's really quite important. These holes look quite dark, I admit that, but I think this looks better than before. It's still not perfect. I might add some more stuff. The issue is not a lot of stuff grows on grass, and normally flowers and plants and grass. Sorry, not a lot of stuff grows on sand in Minecraft. So adding some kind of vegetation will be difficult, but I'll find something to do. I'm just glad it's connected now. It doesn't look too bad. It's not quite what I was envisaging, but I can certainly live with it. The next task is going to be this thing over there, and for that we're going to need a lot more dirt, so I'm going to go off somewhere else away from Spawn Island and collect a load of soil, dirt, probably about a shulker box or more, because I think we'll need at least that amount to fill in this space. I think that's going to look great when it's done, if I can smooth things off correctly. But yeah, let's get this dirt and let's get this started. Okay guys, I had to cut back. I just went to sleep. I went to go and collect some dirt. I've just come back to spawn, I've just gone to sleep, and there's a diamond armor skeleton here. So we're gonna have to do something about that. I think this is the first. That is a full diamond. Unbelievable. We're gonna have to do something about him. What are we gonna do? Do I even have wood? I've got a boat. Oh, thank goodness. That's what I was looking for. This is fantastic. Look at this guy. Full diamond. Do I still have that? This was such a surprise. Full diamond. Boots, leggings, chest plate, and a helmet. I can't even think. I'm so excited. We got to get this guy in a boat. We have to preserve him. Come on, up here, up here. Honestly, I just went out to get some dirt. I came back and I found this guy. I could not believe it. Come on, come towards me. Just get in the boat. Come on. Come on. This is weird. He's not going in the boat. Yes. Just come towards me. This is so frustrating. Oh, he's in. Oh, yes. Okay, we're going to build a dirt box around you. We're going to do something with this guy. This is fantastic. Luckily, I don't use thorns or anything on my armor. So there was no danger of him dying. Oh, God. Oh, I'm almost shaking a little bit. I know you have to wait quite a while in your world to get this kind of thing occurring. I know there's a factor, I don't know what the factor is, that increases over time, and therefore your areas become more dangerous, so to speak. And that means that mobs with better armor and better weapons can spawn. Okay, he's in the box. Excellent. We're gonna have to find something to do with him. That's a shame, so it used up a bit of the dirt I've been collecting, but never mind. Okay, this is cool. We will keep him in the box. We'll find something to do with it. I'm just gonna move this bed. Oh gosh. Okay, that was funny. Okay, back to building. Okay, this is a slightly tricky one. From here you can see the gap that needs to be filled, but when you go close, it seems quite big. The overhang is, I guess it's deceptive when you look from a certain angle. There's quite a lot of space here. I think I'd just like to join this slope up to the tip of the overhang there, just so that when I'm on Spawn Island and looking back this way, it's not so obvious. This is obviously a personal choice. This is just, I don't want to have this gap in the cliff, and it's an easy fix. I think some of this was poking through as well when I just looked from that way. This jungle tree has been here from a very long time ago. I think I grew this when I was trying to get some wood for bookshelves for my first set of enchants. It's amazing the kind of memories that a single tree can stir up. Okay, so we'll fill in this gap first, and then we'll join up the tops and see what this looks like in the end. I think it's going to look a lot better when it's done. Or I hope so anyway. This has turned out quite nicely. I think you can barely see that there was some small ravines in there. Oh, that will need to be done as well. We'll work this out. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. Compared to what it looked like before, I am impressed. Turned out better than the sandbank over there, let's put it that way. I think it looks pretty smooth, especially the grass makes a difference. Filling in with dirt is fine, but obviously the grass needs to spread to make it look a bit authentic. I might go over and bone meal a few parts just to give it some of that kind of varied texture that I talked about before. But overall, honestly, I mean, this is exactly what I was hoping for. You can barely see there was a transition before. I think, I'm really impressed. I've impressed myself. I have impressed myself, let's put it that way. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a coherent, smooth cliff. Not because I intend to build much on here, if I build anything at all. It just kind of keeps the topography a bit more, well, lifelike, I guess. It's hard to say why I want this change. It's what I want around my spawn base. So this is good. I might keep that ravine. That's a nice little ravine there. This, I think, behind the nether portal, it was important to get it looking right. The sun's kind of blocking the view, but next job, if we assume that these jobs are pretty much finished, next might be this water feature. I want to have some waterfall coming down there. Not sure where exactly I want it to land. I was thinking about in here and then it falling again. But this, just like over here, from this angle, it's deceptive. I think this is a few blocks back than this overhang, so it doesn't quite work in the same way. We'll go over there, and we'll try something, and then we're going to get onto our commemorative build. Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay, welcome back. That was interesting. I think this has turned out quite well in the end. It was a bit tricky, as I said. If you remember, I said that I probably would have to push this overhang back by a few blocks in order for the water to fall down directly into this pool area that I kind of enlarged. We'll go and have a look in a second. I had to build it back to kind of retain the water and then have it spill back out this way. I'll get rid of these torches at some point, of course. I'm not a big fan of torches. So the water flows down here, and I've landscaped all around this direction of flow, all the way down to the river here. And I quite like it. I like it a lot. Some people, when they texture, I guess they can make it quite noisy, and I think I have done something like this here. But it still kind of ties together. We've got lily pads, we've got the drip leaves, got lots of flowers, lots of vegetation, some random brick patterns, just to give this, I guess, the appearance of it being old and decayed and decrepit, which is kind of a theme I have going in the world, to be honest. So going upstream, you get the first drop here. I guess we'll fly up, it might be easier. I planted a tree here. I couldn't put plants into the water here because this is a stony base. So I wanted some mossy cobble and some copper just to give it some extra colour and some texture. I think it looks quite good. And as I said at the very top, we have a kind of spring, and I think this turned out really nicely. I'm just very happy with really how this has come about. Obviously this water starts from nowhere, so it's not completely realistic, but from down below I think it looks quite good. I also did a bit of work on the general spawn area. I replaced some of the torches, as I said, with lanterns on some tough brick poles, walls basically. So stuff like this, which is better than having random torches about. There's still plenty of torches, so I will get to this at some point in time. I need to make sure, of course, this is lit up enough that no mobs spawn. So over here, I did some more detailing on the sandbank. So I added some, what do you call them? Some lanterns. I just completely forgot the name of them for a second. I will add some of these stone buttons to make it look like there's little rocks everywhere. And as a kind of detailing feature, having rocks on a sandbank like this, it's perfect. If you see them in real life, they're covered in rocks. It's not all sand. One other thing I did, which just off camera at the end there, I decided that I had to give this guy a name. So he's still in here, Captain Skelly Bones. he's still angry at me. We will definitely do something with this guy. Because having a full diamond skeleton spawn, I mean, that's unusual. Even 1500 days in. Right, so the final test for today, which I've been alluding to, is a build, and I mentioned earlier that it might be kind of commemorative. If you watch the 1 year on YouTube video where I gave a really quick tour of Spawn Island, this is Spawn Pillar, that's the exact block where I started down there. I decided I should mark it for some reason. I don't know what I would do with Spawn Pillar, but still. There's a 2x2 hole here, which I haven't filled in, and maybe you can probably guess what it was used for. So very early on, when I was exploring, I was riding a horse, and I'm not sure the horse showed up too much on camera, if at all, and he was quite fast. I had some diamond armor on him. It really helped with the kind of exploration when I was going out looking for all the stuff for dyes and looking for biomes, basically. But the horse died, unfortunately. I don't think I filmed the occurrence. I can't quite remember how now. This is one of the issues. These things happened so long ago, and I should have made some notes of it at the time. But unfortunately I didn't. But I decided to keep this hole, and I want to commemorate the horse, which I also didn't name, in some way. So we're going to build a little gravestone. We might build small graveyard. Not that I'm expecting to add more graves to it, but you never really know. And a single gravestone might be a little out of place. I guess, or maybe here wouldn't be a bad place to do it. It's kind of enclosed. Maybe I will do it here. That's interesting. So you can fill in the hole, do a little something in this 3x5 block here. Maybe that's better. I only just thought about that now. But maybe that is more appropriate. So we'll get some materials and we will commemorate our nameless horse who gave his life in the pursuit of exploration. So, be back in a second. Well, that was poignant. I've been wanting to do that for a while. It's just taken me 1500 days to do so. I can't remember, and it would probably be too difficult to look back and find out the in-game day that I lost the horse. So we're going to give it a number of about 100. It sounds about right. It was very early game, far before I'd reached the end, far before I'd got my elytra. And I was hoping to have him as a long-time companion, but that didn't work out in the end. But now he has a place that he can rest, and I can come and visit him whenever I need to. Hopefully we don't have to do this too many more times. I don't have any pets at the moment. That's something perhaps I should fix for next episode. It would be good to have some pets to follow me around, especially a nice dog. Maybe we can go and find one of the new breeds that's come in with 1.24. I need to go and explore some new trunks, but there's no problem doing that. Well, I think I might say thank you for watching. It's always great to put these videos out. I feel like I've got a lot done in this episode, even though it might not look like it if you just have a glance around Spawn Island. But sometimes it's these small changes that really make a big difference. And I think I'm a lot happier with how things are looking now than they were when I started filming. Right, so next week I think we're going to do some major builds, or next episode I should say. Probably won't be next week, I'll put this out. But for now, thank you very much, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you soon.